Check out this poem written by an author named Gregory Corso. Never read Gregory Corso's work, just kind of stumbled up on it. I was reading this book of poems called The Maverick Poems, an anthology edited by Steve Coet. And I stumbled on this poem, and it really resonates with me because I've just a couple days ago was my daughter's birthday, and I was looking through a whole bunch of pictures because I was putting together a picture collage for her, and I just as I looked at the pictures, I was studying her, and I watched some of the old videos where I taught her how to ride a bike, or I saw for the first time that she walked, or she starts talking, and so man, it just taking me back to those times really filled my heart with a lot of joy and happiness. But I did have a little bit of sorrow too, and I wrote a poem that I'll connect with this particular video, because this poem that I wrote kind of showed the joy, yet some of the pain that existed as I studied those poems because of the past times, the memories that are no longer, the experiences that are no longer here. And even in some of the poems, I saw people, or excuse me, in the pictures, I saw people who passed on, loved ones, families, friends who are no longer with us, and it brought some level of despair and sadness to my life as much as it did joy. But here in this case, I think that we find joy by the speaker, and I love what what the author does here on this section, where it says, "On the walls of a dull furnished room." Then it's got an ellipsis right here, the three dots. It's got an ellipsis. That ellipsis is very interesting because the title leads right into the actual poem, which is rare that you see a title leading into the poem, and that's brilliantly done. On the walls of a dull furnished room. So you've got this room that's dully furnished. You've got walls that are likely dully furnished. The entire room is not exciting, no frills, no thrills to it. But on the wall, I hang old photos of my childhood girls. I would imagine those childhood girls are his daughters, and just this look, one look at this his daughters sort of sparks up the entire room. With breaking heart, I sit elbow on table, chin on hand, studying. I mean, look at the imagery that he's got there. With breaking heart, that's just exactly what I was telling you about. I mean, it's a heart that's breaking, a heart that's full of joy, yet a heart that's full of sadness and sorrow, a heart that remembers the beautiful memories, the excitement that was there, and a heart that also is just saddened by the fact that those days are no longer here. His elbow is on the table. You could see his elbow just on that table, chin on his hand, just studying, just looking at those pictures. And he says here in this section, in the last three lines, it says, "The proud eyes of Helen," and he just pinpoints specific things about his daughters that he's looking at: the weak mouth of Jane, the golden hair of Susan. So he's got three daughters, Helen, Jane, and Susan, that he's just studying, and he's noticing his daughters as he sits there with his chin, his elbow on the table and his chin in hand, and he's studying these pictures. Man, I couldn't tell you how much that I resonate with this. As I was studying the pictures of my daughters and looking at some of the videos, I just couldn't help but to see those tender moments when one of my daughters had strawberries all over her face when she was like 1 year old, and she was sitting in her high chair eating strawberries, and her strawberries were all over her face. And then the other daughter had spaghetti, a picture of spaghetti all over their face. Or we'd have videos where my daughters are just dancing away at the first sound of any instrument, any music. You'd see them dance. They just start dancing, and both of them are dancers now. So, I mean, just seeing this, just seeing this poem and reading this poem just reminds me of what I need to do. And so let's get into the application part of this. There's something that we can do today, and that is look at the pictures of people whom we love and study them, and remind ourselves of the tender moments that we had, and remind ourselves of and savor the human experience of being able to love and connect with other humans. And in this instance, especially humans in your family, people with whom you share family ties and connections. Man, this poem wakes you up to the reality that there are people around us that we could love today, and one day those people are not going to be around as closely as we'd like, or maybe not around at all. And so there is a time where right now, it's like almost right now, those people who you're around, love them, care for them, and if they're not around anymore, you still have them at least in your memory. Well, enjoy this poem, enjoy your day, and if you have a moment, do what this poet did, and that is stop and study the image or pictures of someone whom you love. I'll see you on the next one.